Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here, the lab coat's on back order, and it's time for another Pokemon TCG live online match video. What are we at, number 94? Now we're almost at the triple digits, 100. Don't know what to do for that special event just yet, but I'll think of something. But, as we've been doing, we've taken a look at the Pokemon GX from the current Burning Shadows expansion in this week's deck, which I'm hoping to leave a Goliath impression on everybody there. That's the name of the deck. Now before we get into, of course, the deck list and the strategies therein, feel free to check below the face cam here and get a code for Roaring Skies. That's it, a Roaring Skies booster pack on Pokemon TCG Online. First come, first served as always. Come here to Pokemon TCG Online, hit your shopping cart, choose redeem codes, type that code in, and get yourself a 10-card booster pack online of Pokemon TCG Roaring Skies. Now then, with that out of the way, let's take a look at this cool Pokemon deck here that I have assembled using this Pokemon right here, Golisopod-GX. I remember when I first saw Golisopod in the Sun and Moon playthrough, or rather the Moon playthrough, it was intimidating. You know, when it first came out, I was like, what is this thing? I immediately knew it was a Wimpod evolution, but it has this amazing look to it. So I really like the way Golisopod looks. I would have liked to add one to my main collection in the playthrough, but I already had too many water types as it was, too many weaknesses to electric, so I didn't use you, but I will use you right now, Golisopod. You're a Stage 1 from Wimpod evolution. It's 210 HP, Grass type. For 1 Grass Energy, First Impression does 30. Now, I kind of like this. First Impression is a special move it can learn in the video games, too. So you do 30 with First Impression. If this Pokemon was on the bench and became your active Pokemon this turn, this attack does 90 more damage, 120 using the First Impression if you can get it to the active spot on that same turn. For a Grass and 2 colorless, Armor Press does 100, and during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 20 less damage from attack, so a nice defensive kind of thing. The GX attack of Grass and 2 colorless, called Crossing Cut GX, does 150. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Excuse me. So, it's got some pretty good power behind it. It is going to be, well, they are going to be 3 Golisopod-GX in the deck. I've got 3 basic Wimpod from the Burning Shadows expansion with Scamper Away. Shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. And Ram for 10. You're not going to see this thing fighting. Now that I've said that, you're probably going to see this thing fighting, because I always say you're not going to, and then you do wind up going to. Or do wind up seeing whatever I'm trying to say. Anyway, that's the Golisopod-GX line. I've got also, to support this, well, let's talk about the Shiinotic in a moment here, but I've got Metagross. I used this recently in the Metagross GX deck. The ability of Magnetic Warp from, is this the Ancient Origins, I believe, Metagross? Once during your turn, before your attack, you may switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, your opponent switches his or her active Pokemon with one of his or her bench Pokemon. So, the whole reason Metagross is in here, although you're not going to ever see it attacking, which could now happen, it is the ability of Magnetic Warp. If I can have 2 Golisopod in play, I can constantly use Magnetic Warp to keep swapping them every turn, and doing that 120 damage with the First Impression with just 1 Grass Energy attached. It's kind of crazy. So I've got 2 Metagross, 1 Metang, and 3 Beldum in here. What would be even cooler, but unnecessary, I was just like, would it be even cooler if I can get both Metagross in play and do 2 switches every turn? But as long as I have 2 Golisopod-GX in play, I only need to do 1 Magnetic Warp to get that 120 damage with the First Impression. So ignore what I was about to say, because I don't even know what I was going to say. Excuse me. Alright, so for a little bit more support, we have a couple of Shiinotic in here, with the, where are they from? The basic Sun and Moon expansion. Illuminate ability. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may search your deck for a Grass Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. That is essentially just a quick way to find ourselves the Wimpod and Golisopod-GX cards. The basics I put in here, a Moralol, and I thought, let's just kind of make things more colorful. Let's throw a Fairy-type Moralol in here. Does Ram for 10 with any energy, whereas this one can Ram for 10 needing a Grass Energy. But you can also Flickering Spores with this one and put things to sleep without a coin flip. Again, you're not going to see this thing active doing any battling. I can't wait to see how many of these Pokemon actually do battle now that I've said that about pretty much everybody. So that is the 16 Pokemon. Scrolling down for the energy cards, we're going to start off with, naming off, is it 7 basic Grass Energy, 3 basic Metal Energy, and a couple of double colorless to power up the Armor Press, I think, and the Crossing Cut GX. I remembered! How about that? I usually can't remember names like that. Remember last time, Sonic Volume? I remember that too from Noivern GX. Okay, I'm on a roll. I'm going to win these matches. Alright, so those are the 12 energy cards. Now for the trainers, I got 2 big Malasadas to heal 20 damage and a special condition for my active Pokemon. 2 Field Blowers, discarding any 2, or any up to 2, of Pokemon tools or stadiums in play, either mine or the opponent's. We've also got 2 Heavy Balls, because a lot of Pokemon this week have a pretty hefty retreat cost. 3 for Metang, 4 for Metagross, We've got 3 on Golisopod-GX itself as well. So Heavy Ball lets you find a Pokemon with a retreat cost of 3 or more, which is pretty decent. We've also got a couple of Nest Balls to put a bench Pokemon or a basic Pokemon onto the bench by playing this and then shuffle up. 2 Professor's Letters to find any 2 basic energy from the deck and take them into hand. 2 Rare Candies to help speed our evolution from Beldum into Metagross as soon as possible. And we're actually going to use the Revitalizer this time. 2 of these. Put 2 Grass Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. If we lose any of our Pokemon along the way, we can just bring them right back in, or any of our grass types I should say, bring them right back with the Revitalizer. A couple of Super Rods as well, shuffle 3 cards and any combination of basic energy and Pokemon back into the deck. 2 Versus Seekers to bring back a couple supporter cards that we'll be using throughout the many battles, or at least the couple that we're going to have this week. And I'm also I didn't know what else to put. I needed 1 extra card, and I thought, I want to put a Stadium just to get rid of the opposing Stadium. I thought, let's use Mount Lanakila. The retreat cost of each basic Pokemon in play is 1 colorless more. So the idea here, since I'm going to have Magnetic Warp ability, as long as I can get their Metagross in play, I can force the opponent to switch something up that maybe has a pretty hefty retreat cost. If it's a basic, it's got an even heftier retreat cost. Less likely to be escaping anytime soon before we can get a couple of those first impressions off. So now onto the supporter cards. Well, first let's talk about the tools. Choice bands. You know, it's kind of standard nowadays. 2 choice bands, add this to a Pokemon, and your Pokemon now does 30 more damage to opposing active GXs or EXs. Not bad for some extra damage. Now then, I've got Acerola. Put 1 of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it and all cards attached to it into your hand. We've also got Guzma. Now Guzma works really well with a Golisopod-GX deck. Switch 1 of your opponent's... switch... I was reading that perfectly fine. Why did I hesitate? Switch 1 of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. So that itself is Lysandre. But Guzma also says if you do, switch your active Pokemon with 1 of your bench Pokemon. This is kind of like the Magnetic Warp in a supporter card, except the opponent doesn't get to choose which one comes up. You make the choice. So if I've got 2 Golisopod-GX in play, each with a Grass Energy, I can bring something up from their bench, and then bring up my other Golisopod-GX, 120, maybe super effective damage, could do 240. You know, Choice Band could also be adding to that there. I just realized I don't have Kukui for added damage. Do I want Kukui? I can't, well, maybe. I don't think I want to use Mount Lanakila now that I think about it. But do I have plenty of supporters as it is? I kind of do. I'll forego the Kukui for this week. You know, he's really handy, but, you know, I can get rid of Alima. Let's do a live edit. Let's take out our Alima. I don't have very good draw support or basically replacement cards if I do shuffle down to 3, so Kukui, I'm sorry I forgot about you, buddy. Get in here. You're joining the team. There we go. Alright, now we're on to Lily. I can't scroll. There we go. Lily is next. I can draw till I have 6 cards in hand, but on my first turn I can draw till I have 8, actually. Lysandre is here. I was considering putting a second Lysandre in because I'm going to be I'm going to be causing the opponent to switch their active Pokemon to the bench using Magnetic Warp. And I thought, I want to be able to bring up something from their bench, that my choice, right? So, I only have 1 Lysandre, I only got 1 chance, plus possibly 2 more using the Versus Seeker on just Lysandre. Then I realized, wait, no, Guzma is like Lysandre, but also allows me to switch as well. So, 1 Lysandre. I've got N in here to shuffle both players' hands into the deck and draw 1 card back for each remaining prize card. Pokemon Center Lady, another staple I like to use, heals 60 damage and in special conditions, all of them, from 1 of your Pokemon. There's good old Kukui. Draw 2 cards for the turn, and now you're doing 20 more damage until the end of your turn with your active Pokemon's attacks. Another Professor here, Professor Sycamore, discard your hand and draw back 7 new cards. Got a couple of Skylas in here. What is your expansion from? You're still standard legal for quite some time. I'm going to feel, I don't know, bad when she gets cycled out of the standard rotation. There's got to be some sort of replacement for her, though, that does something similar eventually. But for now, 2 Skylas. Search your deck for any trainer card you like and take it. And a Wally is here. Search your deck for a Pokemon that evolves from one of your active or your current Pokemon, except for Pokemon EX. Put it onto that Pokemon, and you can use it on the first turn that Pokemon does come into play, or your own first turn of the game as well. That is going to be the deck. We've got 16 Pokemon, 32 trainers, and 12 energy cards. We're going to pop into some live online matches, or at least one, depending on how long it takes, to see what Golisopod-GX can do with the first impression in this week's Pokemon TCG live online match. And normally what I do at this point is fade away to the actual matches, but you know what? I usually did that. Wait, no. I'm saving this. I want Kukui. But I normally would fade away because sometimes I don't know how well I'm going to get the deck to work, because I would record several matches and show you a either victorious one or at least one that shows off the strategy really well. But I guess, even if, I guess a pride thing is, if I lose, I kind of don't want to show that off. But I mean, as long as my strategy is shown, I don't mind losing, Losing is part of the game. We see my opponent with a psychic deck. What was your name? By Quinn or by Q1N? I don't know. Whoever it is, they call them the coin flip, and they got the coin flip. Who goes first? Okay. Let's see what we start with. Well, they have no basics, which is interesting. We do. So we'll get to see what they have in their hand, at least. How many mulligans do they get? Now, I see what this does. There's arrows down here if you see multiple mulligans. We see Lunala, Wishful Baton. Alright, this is not the best start for us, of course. I could Guzma, though, depending on what they start powering up. If they start powering the active one, I can just simply Lysandre, too. I probably should, but I like the challenge of not getting an extra card, so I'm going to forego that. We see Cosmog on the bench and Marini in the active spot. So we could see a Golisopod-GX. Ooh, there's Lily on turn 1. Didn't play any cards yet, though. Normally you'd want to play a few of your cards out, if possible, before playing Lily. So maybe they just don't have anything they can work with, yeah. I kind of want to get myself some more Pokemon in play. Let's bring up the Cosmog, try to slow things down a bit. That's all I could do on turn 1, so this is not a good turn 1 for either of us. If this match turns out to be not so good, I might fade away until we get a decent match. Or maybe I'll just play it out. Let's see what happens. There is Golisopod-GX. We knew it was coming. Ugh, super intense poison. Keep that stuff away from me. Are you going to retreat? Don't retreat, because you could knock me out in one hit. We do resolve. If you flip 2 heads, I lose, despite our resistance. That's game 1. Okay. Game 2 begins. Let's see who we can beat this time. El Mono 099, colorless and water deck. Why can't we ever flip our coin? I choose the fancy looking coins. I've got the dragon reward coin. Oh, we win! Do I want to go first? I want to attack first. I'll let them take the first turn. We do have Wally possibilities. Not yet. Oh, again, the opponent mulligans. Alright, so let's put the Wimpod up. We'll drop our Beldum. Should I have led Wimpod? I don't know. This is the Wimpod from... What was that? The Guardians Rising. That's it. I couldn't remember the name. The one from this current set, Burning Shadows, actually has an ability that says on your first turn of the game, it has a free retreat cost. So they mulligan twice. Oh, we see Water Duplicate Frogadier. Bursting Balloon is there as well. Alright. We're going to take no mulligan cards. We're going to... Oh, come on. Talonflame, get out of here. We're weak to fire. Of course, you're not fire. But you could break evolve into a fire type. So, Trainer's Mail find from a Versus Seeker. What do I want to get? I can play Skyla. I'm thinking maybe a Nest Ball. So they play level ball, gonna Froakie, I thought so. Yeah, they're gonna try to get their Frogadier in play as soon as possible. Start getting the water duplicates. I've said it before, but if I haven't said it at least recently, lately, Talonflame is a good lead Pokemon. The ability Gale Wings lets you lead it, although it's a stage 2, you can play it immediately as your active Pokemon for the lead spot when you're setting up. And Arrow Blitz does 40 damage for 1 energy, and you search your deck for any 2 cards you want. It is not bad. Pardon me. So we're going to play Skyla. Let us grab... I guess Nest Ball. So we can get another Pokemon on the bench here. Let me think. They can hit me for 40. I could Acerola. I want to get our Fairy-type Morello on the bench. So, hit me for 40. I'm going to put this onto the Wimpod. We could scamper away. We're not going to do that just yet. I guess This turn, I'm going to play Sycamore. See what I can get on my next turn. Another Froakie added to the bench. We're going to see Evolution perhaps into Frogadier. Not just yet. They're going to Aero Blitz first. Maybe they don't have Frogadier in their hand. That is fine, but they get to search their deck for any 2 cards. I love that attack. I hate when I'm fighting against it, but I can't deny it's a good attack. Alrighty. As I say, Sycamore is the way to go. First, I'm going to play out the Malasada, though, to heal off before discarding it and losing all the effectiveness of it. There's Wally. Now, I could play Wally to evolve into Shiinotic, and then use Shiinotic's ability, Illuminate, to find Golisopod, but that doesn't give us the energy we need to attack, so I am going to just simply Sycamore the hand away. Didn't find quite what I was hoping for. However, we do have Heavy Ball. Why did I not use the rare candy for a Metagross? Oops. Regardless, we'll Heavy Ball into Golisopod. Next turn we can play our Metagross, I guess. We're not really set up to do a lot of massive damage regardless, though, so let's just go with First Impression. 30 measly damage. Next turn I can Metagross. I can play Skyla to get myself an energy card for retreat purposes. It's kind of good, though. We have weakness to Grass type on the opposing side. I will take that. Dive Ball. Gonna get yourself a Greninja? No, another Frogadier. Why would you use the, why would you get that, though? Because you can put them right onto the bench. Maybe you don't have Greninja, though. Wait, you must have Greninja. Unless you get Break Evolution for Talonflame. No. Okay. So what can you do to me? You can return a fire or water energy from your hand. You can do 80. They can get rid of abilities. But they're not going to do any of that. Okay, search for another 2 cards. Alright. Here's where things get interesting. Let's see what Golisopod-GX can do. Metagross, you're going down there, buddy. Oh, we got double colorless, so that gives me an option. No, I need to get another energy for our retreat cost. Let's go for a Professor's Letter. Play that out. Grab ourselves a couple of basic, I guess the metal energy. Well, 1 metal, 1 grass. There's only 1 metal left in the deck anyway. So here's where we're going to start the fun. We're going to Magnetic Warp. I'm going to switch into the Moralo. The opponent must now switch into one of their water types that are weak to grass. See where this is going. Which one takes the hit? Your Greninja has free retreat. That might be your wiser choice, but it clearly isn't. However, that's the choice you make. Retreat, First Impression, is the most important impression. 240 damage. Ow. Got ourselves a Grass Energy. So we can also one-hit KO the Talonflame with this too, based on where it's at for current HP. So you see, just getting to the bench, coming back up, adds that extra power to your First Impression. Very, very cool stuff. What can the opponent do to possibly stand up to the almighty force of the Golisopod-GX? So they're thinking. Like I said, this is an intimidating Pokemon when you first see it. I remember how surprised I was, though. Like, when... First of all, if you didn't watch the Pokemon Moon playthrough, I suggest you check that out. This was my blind run of Pokemon Moon. I knew very little about the game except what was revealed during the trailers and stuff. And, when I first saw Golisopod, I remember I switched into my Primarina at the time, and it did Razor Shell, which did 35 HP damage, and I had a remainder of 70. And then it used Swords Dance, which doubles the attack stat, and I'm like, based on math, we're going to lose in the next hit. Then, it turns out Emergency Exit, the ability, bumped it back to the Pokeball once we did enough damage to it. And I was so confused, like, why does it have Emergency Exit? Essentially, it has Wimp Out ability, just name something cooler, something more strategic. Because it doesn't want to be a Wimp Out Pokemon. So they get their Wally back with the Versus Seeker. They Wally up into Greninja. Pardon me. They do switch around in there. We do possibly... No! Water duplicates. So what we could do here, I could armor press, actually. I think that's probably the best thing. We'll add some defense to us for the next turn. Armor press, 200 damage due to weakness. Now all damage done to me next turn is reduced by 20. Got ourselves a metal energy. Up comes the Talonflame. They can hit me for 20 now because of our defensiveness. You got that Wally card still in hand, though. I remember you got that one back. If the Talonflame stays active, all I gotta do is... Did I attach an energy this turn, I think? Or last turn? I can't remember. But I should always make sure to put an energy on the Morolol just for the retreat purposes. If I can't get my second Golisopod in play. So if the Talonflame does stay active, as I say, I'm going to use the Magnetic Warp switch around the ability. I also should probably show off the Crossing Cut GX, although I kind of wish that the GX attacks had some sort of cool visual effect in this, not just a regular move kind of thing. All it does is flip the GX token, and if it had a more dramatic effect, I would want to show it off in every single fight. I mean, I could show it off here. Let's just Magnetic Warp. Well, let's heal a little bit first. A little Magnetic Warp. Bring the Morolol up. They gotta bring up a water type. Probably gonna be that Greninja. Or I mean the Frogadier. It is, so we're going to attach this to Morolol. We are going to retreat. And let's go with the first impression once again. Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. Although I wanted to show off how much power it has. I should have used our Guard Press. Or Armor Press. So we got ourselves Versus Seeker. I can use that to bring back... What would I even want? I could bring back Acerola. It'll set us back a little bit. But I could take back the Golisopod-GX and heal all the damage from it. They're getting desperate. They're playing Sycamore. They've added a Splash Energy onto the Greninja. Now what's interesting... This one does not have a Froakie beneath it. So if I take this out... The Splash Energy, although it brings back the Pokemon cards in the hand, they can't play it again, because they need to have the basic to play Frogadier from hand. I thought that was coming pretty soon. They can't stand up to Golisopod-GX. That's not a bad one. I suppose we've got time to try one more match, though. Oh, look at this! Boom! In one... Oh! You see how close that was? I thought I had the entire thing in one battle there. Oh well. We get ourselves a mystery box. I should probably open that at the end of all this, just to see what we have to get. Let's play one more, see if we can get enough lightnings to grab ourselves a couple of enhanced hammers. Who can we find for the Goliath impression to smash down this time? Hopefully I can get both of the Golisopod-GX in play, or even three of them. You can see the Magnetic Warp switching around and giving each of them the first impression combo. Poketrainer 1214 with a fighting deck. That's not good for you guys. Fighting is quite often weak to grass. Alright, lose the coin flip. That is okay. Sometimes I like to let the opponent choose who goes first and just work with that. So we will get to attack on our very first turn of the game. How lucky are we? After all the time I've said we don't have any good luck in the card game of mulligans and stuff. 3 times in a row, the opponent mulligans, I don't. So let's see what they're working with. Lucario. Not a Lucario with any special abilities, though. So they did have just the one mulligan. We're not going to take that extra card. They lead off with a Gibble, which is never enough. I love the name of that attack. Alright, so the scary thing is we could see Rare Candy evolution into Garchomp, which was pretty powerful. At this point, let's just go ahead and play out the Professor's Letter, draw a couple of cards. I have an idea. Rare Candy is in hand. So what I could do... Next turn, I want to play Skylight, use a Heavy Ball, and find myself the Metagross. Right now, Kukui is played. Get a Field Blower. Can't play anything else from hand. Let's just do the Ram attack for 20 to weakness. I forgot Kukui adds damage. So there's a knockout. I was like, how in the world did we get off 60 damage from a Wimpod? And perfect time for the teammates to show up out of nowhere. when I was completely flabbergasted at how we did that. We got ourselves our other Skyla, too. I was trying to get these trades done in time for this video to be recorded, so I was looking at, I think someone was trading a Golisopod-GX, or maybe two of them, for a full art Guzma, and I didn't want to do this, but I put up a full art Skyla to get that Guzma, so I could trade the Guzma for those Golisopod that I needed. I'm kind of happy that trade didn't go through, and I later found someone trading a couple of Golisopod for another GX, because I get to keep my two full art Skylas. Look how perfect they are together. The Skyla's the limit. Alright, we got ourselves Brookwood Hill, so we can find a basic water or basic fighting Pokemon. That doesn't help me, I've got neither in this deck. We got ourselves Riolu, though. Alright, we see Evo Soda up into Gabite. We can do 20 and we can't retreat. Oh, we can do 40? Oh no. Alright, what do we find? Nice! This I like. Alright, let's get that heavy ball. Grab ourselves a Metagross. Let's do it right this time. I will play the Rare Candy, get Metagross right here. I can now play Skyla to find myself a way to get our Golisopod. What's the best way to do that? I don't have Evo Soda, do I? No, let's play the other heavy ball. And is there anything else that we can really do? I can just play the Field Blower. Just get rid of their Brookwood Hill. I'll leave it though. I want to see what they can do. Let's attach this onto Golisopod and do... It's going to be 60 damage. Next turn, I'm going to be able to use Skyla for a Nest Ball. I could even just play Sycamore, though. See what else we can find. There's the Garchomp. So Bite Off can do 80. Fortunately, we are not a GX. Or, sorry, an EX. We are a GX. Actually, it's going to do 100 with that strong energy. We only have a total of 70 hit points remaining. So we could Guard Press. Or, I keep saying Guard Press. Armor Press for the next turn. Yeah, it was a little bit painful, I will admit that. Get ourselves a Choice Band. I don't think it's going to help us here. Let's give this to the Golisopod, and here's what we're going to do. I am going to... I don't know, should I? I'll play Sycamore. Let's see what we can get. Just one more basic is all I need at this point here. And we got a Nest Ball. That is one of those basics. Let's get ourselves the other Morlul. Actually, no, we can't. It's not here. We'll get a Beldum instead then. And, let's see. I'm not going to put this Mount Lanakila down because it's going to slow down my retreat costs as well. So I'm going to use, finally, the Crossing Cut GX. And we'll switch into Wimpod. Ow, 300 damage. Okay. Oh, there's the other Morlul right there. We don't even need Shiinotic right now, though. We got everything we need, basically. This can do 20 plus 20 more if they're lucky. Versus Seeker for Teammates. Excellent work. You can get 2 cards of your choice, since I knocked out one of your Pokemon on the last turn. And what do you have to work with? 100 HP? That's an easy first impression. Alright, what do you got, Teammates? Can you help Poketrainer 1214 turn things around here? That Garchomp did hurt, I will admit that. We don't have Acerola in here. If I can get Acerola, though, I can just simply take our Golisopod back and heal all that damage, essentially. Removing it from play. Damage counters don't go into hand. You can't hold them with your cards. It makes no sense. So, damage is just simply gone. Gotta carefully choose which cards are going to work here. And the choice is made. Energy Retrieval. Okay, get your basic fighting energy back. Choice Band. Add it to the Lucario. You're not going to like what happens next, I'm afraid. Hello, Carbink. You might not mind what happens next, I'm afraid. How much damage can you do? So you'll be able to do... Oh, that could hurt Bone Rush if you're lucky. Alright, we're going to Magnetic Warp. Bring up our Golisopod-GX. Even if we lose Golisopod-GX, I've got the 2 Revitalizers in hand. Let's heal off a little bit of damage here, 20. And go for a simple... Armor Press could help us. It's Armor Press. I like Golisopod. Like I said, I kind of wanted to use it as a main team member, but I just didn't for some reason. I don't know. Too many weaknesses to electric in my main collection as it was. Otherwise, you would have been on the team, buddy. I don't even know what I would have nicknamed you, though. Superpower, maybe? I don't know. So there's a strong energy. Kukui adding more damage. That negates the armor press defensiveness. I want you to get the knockout. I want you to. Do it. Hit me. Not enough. Unfortunately for the opponent. But this is kind of nice. Acerola at the right moment. Wimpod has come up to the active spot. We're going to evolve it into Golisopod. We'll drop the other Wimpod back down. Thank you very much, good sir. Now going to go with the first impression and bop. So here's the thing. In my training, testing this deck, I realized something that I kind of forgot. Technically, Golisopod is a new Pokemon. Wimpod evolves up into Golisopod-GX, where the first impression says this Pokemon was on the bench, you do more damage. Wimpod was on the bench, not Golisopod-GX. So that was a big mistake on my part. I messed up, but I kind of like that I got to show that off, though. So in that case, what can we do instead? We got a Carbink Break in play. So you can do a decent amount of damage to me now. Once you flip the tails, or just retreat. So a Diamond Gift, a measly 20, but this is a pretty cool attack. It lets you search your discard pile for any 2 energy. Even, you can see strong energy. Special energy does count for that. We get ourselves rare candy. Let's... what do we do here? Who's in the discard pile? Kui, Sycamore, Skyla. Alright, all we're going to do here is I will versus Seeker, Skyla, find a Heavy Ball. Wait, did I use both Heavy Balls? I might have. Rats. Well, in this case, we will grab Guzma instead. I still have a plan. Can't use Guzma just yet, but I can retreat. Or not retreat, I can use Magnetic Warp and bring up a Pokemon with 1 retreat cost. Who comes up? Don't bring Lucario. That's going to be just a complete destruction on your part. We'll retreat into Golisopod-GX once again and go for our first impression. 2 prizes remaining. There's the other Metagross. And a rare candy in hand as well. Kind of liking this. Again, I don't mind if I get a knockout on this Golisopod-GX because we have the evolution possibilities of using Revitalizer, getting it back in hand. I gotta make sure, remember though, if I evolve while it's active after being moved up, that removes the if this Pokemon was on your bench effect. Something for you to, or something important to keep in mind there too for you folks out there. If you're gonna do something like this, remember, evolution into a Pokemon changes which Pokemon that was. Another Diamond Gift to attach some energy from the discard pile. Alright, now we have our Guzma. Okay, how do I play this? Well, here's how I play this. We got ourselves our Illuminate. Hello, Golisopod. This is going to hurt. Time for Guzma and Golisopod to make their combo. Up comes Lucario, up comes Golisopod. Number 2. And as soon as it decides, we're going to go with the first impression. Thank you again, good sir. I'm going to send you a nice little happy face for that. I think we're pretty much done at this point. Not much more remaining that they can do here. Everything will fall in 1 hit to our next Golisopod attack when we use our Magnetic Warp. Force them to switch around, bring up our Golisopod. First impression gets the KO. In fact, you know what? Forget all that. Armor Press. That's all you need to do. And that is the power of Golisopod-GX. Very cool stuff. I think this might be one of my new favorite decks, actually. Now, another way you could, of course, work this strategy is, well, Guzma obviously works really well. Escape Rope could be a way to do that, too. As long as you have 2 Golisopod in hand, or in play. What do we get for this? Bunch of, times 35. 35 tokens. I gotta do more of these to keep building up my tokens whenever there's a new special event. Where'd my face go? There I am. What was that all about? But that is going to be... Oh, wait, what's my next challenge? I need to level up our Raging River. And we do get ourselves a couple of enhanced hammers. Very cool. So I'm going to open up that mystery box, and then we'll pop back to the deck and take a look at our outro. Just talk about Golisopod a little bit more. Thank you, enhanced hammers. I might make use of you someday. I don't find I use the hammers that much. Alright, so let's go to our collection. See what we happen to get from the mystery box. Oh, it's a rare. We got 5 tokens, and da-da-da-da. A Lowland Golem, very cool. Electromagnetic Rock Wrecker, that's a pretty big mouthful of an attack. Flip a coin for each lightning energy attached to this Pokemon. 80 damage for each heads. Heavy Slam does 200 minus. 30 less damage for each energy, and your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. So the heavier they are, the less you do. That's kind of cool the way that attack works. Heavy Slam. Alright, let's check out that deck once again as we basically bring this week's deck, video, battle, whatever you want to call it, to a close after showing off the power of Golisopod-GX and some cool maneuverability of the battlefield. Metagross is not really as important as long as you have Guzma. Versus Seekers bring Guzma back, and Escape Ropes could be a thing as well. Switch cards could simply be it. Floatstone could be something, but if you probably want to put a different tool on your Golisopod-GX, do more damage perhaps, but Floatstone could still be an option. Retreat 1 Golisopod-GX to the other, 120 damage with that first impression. And you saw the other attacks as well. But that is going to be a wrap for today's Pokemon TCG Live Online Match video. I'd like to get your opinion on something here, though. Which Pokemon GX would you like to see next from the Burning Shadows expansion? Let's go alphabetical here. So we've already seen a Lowland Muck GX, but not in a well-thought-out deck, you know, a good strategy. I just kind of used it on release day. We haven't seen Charizard GX yet in battle. Darkrai GX is here as well. Haven't used that. Gardevoir GX, that was one that I'm trying to work on. I actually have a deck idea in mind for Gardevoir GX, so that might be the next one we use, but we'll see what happens. We got the Golisopod GX we took a look at. Ho-Oh GX is here. Lycanroc GX. Machamp GX. We already saw Marshadow GX. Necrozma GX. We already saw Noivern. Salazzle is here. Tapu Bulu, Tapu Fini, and that's it. Do you have any particular Pokemon GX you'd like to see for next week? If so, leave that in a comment down below, and I'll see what I can do about assembling a cool deck strategy using those Pokemon. And as I forgot to mention, feel free to drop a like down below if you enjoyed this video and this particular deck strategy. If you have any comments on how to make this a little more consistent, leave those in a comment down below as well. And anyone that wants to recreate a Golisopod-GX deck of their own could take your advice to heart and see if they can streamline what I've done into something more competitive. But I guess that is it. So if you want to see some more Pokemon TCG videos that I have done, you can check the link in the description to the full playlist. And for some more Pokemon content, such as Pokemon Coliseum currently on the go, feel free to check some of the links during the outro to some other videos. And feel free to subscribe to the channel as my face appears in the outro. I was going to say, how do I segue into that? Yeah, my face pops up. Click it and subscribe. Good stuff. But with that, we are done. Thanks again for watching today's Pokemon TCG Live Online Match video. Professor Chaz is signing off, and I'll catch you next time.